giờ gia đình mình bắt đầu đi theo tour đó cả nhà, đây tour của gia đình mình nè cả nhà ơi. Cái cô hướng dẫn á, cũng cầm cái tháp màu xanh đó cả nhà, đó để ra dấu hiệu. Ủa đi tới đâu là mọi người đi theo tới đó.
This is the summit, the smallest part of the tower. Yeah, we are not so far from a counter. And four small elevators from a second floor to the summit. It's different elevator. Keep pressing.
Cái này xây dựng năm 1887, hoàn thành năm 1889.
Yeah. The elevator will go to the second floor. It's one yellow elevator. That pillar, the other you will see. But this is the other one. Doesn't work. It's closed. The red one is reconstruction. But there are two yellow and two pillars. Two yellow elevators. We will go to the second floor. One up there. Sorry? I see a red one going up. Oh yeah, red is to go to the summit from a second floor. There's two different elevators. The second floor. Sorry, the end of my. Yeah, the last street. The 72 scientific who worked after the French Revolution, you know. And on each side you can find something like 80 names. This tower is dedicated to them. It's something like homage to the science. And you know, there is no woman name on the Eiffel Tower. Yeah. Because the Eiffel Tower, the only one woman was mathematician, was scientific. Her name was Marie-Sophie Germain.
Đẹp quá cả nhà ơi, hoa đẹp quá. Đây, gần tháp Eiffel đó cả nhà. Đẹp ghê chưa nhà ơi. Đông ghê cả nhà, giờ này mà đông ghê luôn đó. Đây nè, rồng rắn nhau vào cả nhà ơi. Đủ chủng tộc, đủ sắc dân trên toàn thế giới. Đây là thành phố du lịch mà tháp Eiffel là biểu tượng của Paris, biểu tượng của nước Pháp đó cả nhà ơi. Hàng năm có rất là nhiều du khách đến đây đó cả nhà ơi. Cả nhà ơi, cái cô hướng dẫn viên nói mọi người phải chờ 1 tiếng rưỡi nữa mới lên được đó cả nhà. Quá lâu cả nhà ơi. Nhưng mà mọi người cũng chấp nhận trong sự vui vẻ cả nhà. Ai cũng ước ao được lên ngắm tháp Eiffel. Quá đông cả nhà ơi. Ngày thường thôi mà mọi người đến tham quan rất là đông luôn á. Tháp Eiffel này là một biểu tượng của nước Pháp mà cả nhà, biểu tượng rất nổi tiếng trên toàn thế giới đó cả nhà ơi.
And you know the metal structure for the Statue of the Liberty in New York is a creation of the Eiffel. He's his project.
20 years worth of revenue is all mine.
Eiffel company.
And he recovered his money in just 6 months. 18.5 years worth of revenue. Not only did he give the tower his name, but he also constructed an apartment at the top, at the summit, at the seat of the Eiffel Tower. Can you imagine having an apartment at the top of the Eiffel Tower?
Here in France, you know, almost
Who lives at the top of the
600
Eiffel
meters
Tower?
long viaduct. You know, we are here in the 19th century.
I wish I had an apartment at the top of the Eiffel
Big
Tower.
project and
Because if I
viaduct
did,
like that.
I could go to any girl in the city of Paris and say, hey girl, you want to come back to my place?
Because of that, the French government announced a huge competition for 300 meters tower. But the first choice of the French government wasn't really the Eiffel Tower. I will show you the concurrence of the Eiffel Tower. Tower of Bourget, the stone tower, completely different. That was a concurrence of the tower, of the Eiffel Tower. But very quickly, they decided to build the Eiffel Tower. They canceled this project. Why? You know, it was seen before in the Pisa, for example, in Italy. Not 300 meters tower, but a stone tower like that. And also, they were not sure that this is stable. You know, even when the Eiffel Tower was built, the people who lived close to the tower, around, this is the building, they were afraid. During the 1 year, they think that maybe the Eiffel Tower could fall down.
Oh.
Now we know it's so stable, don't worry. But for French weather, if we transport, for example, the Eiffel Tower in US, with the strong winds, with the hurricanes, I'm not sure. But for a French weather, the Eiffel Tower is so stable. And also, you know, this is a stone tower. And the Eiffel Tower, the nickname of Eiffel Tower is Iron Lady. It's made in the iron. And the iron, steel, and the concrete, these three materials, is so important for industrial revolution. Because of that, the Iron Lady represented much better the French advancement in everything, in engineering, in architecture, much better than the stone tower. Because of that, they decided to build the Eiffel Tower.
Only iron.
It's pretty fast. We move pretty fast. It's really fast. It's not 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. No, it's not. And do you know how many years did the work last on the construction of the tower? How many years they needed to build the tower?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. Yeah, that was so quickly. They built actually the Eiffel Tower in 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days. Very quickly. And you know, Gustave Eiffel, he had his own company outside of Paris, and he produced outside of Paris all of these huge iron pieces. On the Eiffel Tower, you can find 18,000 huge iron pieces. And you can see the rivets. Do you see the nails, the small points? This is the rivets. On the Eiffel Tower, there are 2.5 million rivets on the Eiffel Tower. You know, he produced everything a little bit outside of Paris. After that, he transported here all of these materials. And 300 workers, they worked during the 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days. Do you know how many of them died by accident, not at home? How many died? Who tell? 0. Yeah. Nobody.
No.
Nobody. 0. Nobody died on the constructions of the Eiffel Tower. You know, I think it's important to know that. I think the Gustave Eiffel, he was more attentive than the workers today, than companies today with the workers. In the Paris, in the France, in all Europe, a lot of people died on the constructions of the buildings today. Nobody died in the 19th century on the constructions of the Eiffel Tower.
Cả nhà ơi, cái cô hướng dẫn viên này nói là cái tốc Eiffel này á, xây dựng rất là nhanh. Chỉ có 2 năm, 2 tháng, 7 ngày cả nhà, very fast. Rất là nhanh luôn.
Brown gold. Do you know why gold?
Màu
Because
nâu
the
đậm cả
Olympic
nhà.
Games next year, the Eiffel Tower will be a little bit, they told us, a little bit goldish. When you are far from the tower, you have an impression. Oh, the flash. No.
Chỉ qua
And,
thời gian
The
nắng
Olympic Games,
rồi,
yeah,
gió,
next year in
nó
July,
bay,
in
phải
the
xem
Paris will
rồi.
be the Summer Olympic Games. Because of that, the tower will be a little bit golden. You know, the Gustave Eiffel. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Come closer. Yeah, please, can we organize? People cannot hear me. Can you just, can I, yeah, come here, yeah. The Gustave Eiffel, he recommended to repaint the Eiffel Tower every 7 years. Because it's very difficult to change, or it's so expensive to change the huge iron pieces. Because of that, they need to protect the tower from the rusting. And they repaint every 7 years. You know, they need between 18 months and 3 years to repaint the Eiffel Tower. For example, they started in 2021. They will finish in 2024. That means 3 years. And 4 years after, they will restart to repaint the Eiffel Tower. You know, they use more than 60 tons of paint to repaint the Eiffel Tower. And you can see maybe on the second floor, very often the workers, the free climbers, with the small buckets here, with the paint and the brushes. They don't use a spray. Even today, they repaint the Eiffel Tower with the brushes. And there are not a lot of workers, only between 24 until 30 workers. Do you know why? Because the Eiffel Tower is not closed when they repaint. The tower is open. Because of that, there is not a lot of workers on the tower. You know, just be careful. Sometimes I have a guest from a group with a spot of paint. Yeah. One time was really one disaster in April. More than 10 persons in my group, they touched something, and they put the paint all around. Yeah, just be careful. If it's happened, for example, you can refound your jacket, your clothes on the counter. You know, if you want. They didn't want. They tell me this is a souvenir from the Eiffel Tower. Can we just move, please?
Cổ nói là đi lên tháp coi chừng dính sơn á, cổ đã từng bị dính sơn rồi, dính sơn á, sơn lên á, ướt á, cổ đã từng bị trên áo cổ. Là đang nói mọi người cẩn thận. Bây giờ khô rồi, lâu rồi.
And she's buying a ticket to the towers. Merci. Hi there, YouTube. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Can you see the stars on YouTube?
I will in a minute. I need to go get the tickets right now. Okay, let's move on. Okay, my group, let's wait for you. And I'm not talking about the restaurant bill.
Cả nhà ơi, đây là cái vé ticket đi lên tham quan tháp Eiffel này cả nhà. Đây là cả nhà. Đây là mặt sau này cả nhà ơi. Nhà thấy rõ không ạ? Các hướng dẫn viên á, thuyết minh cũng có khiếu hài hước lắm đó cả nhà, làm nó không có nhàm chán. Bắt đầu mình lên cầu thang cả nhà ơi nè, để lên tháp Eiffel đó cả nhà ơi. Đi thang máy lên. Ai muốn đi bộ thì đi bộ, ai muốn đi thang máy thì thang máy cả nhà ơi. Chào cả nhà, mình đang ở trong lòng tháp Eiffel, chờ thang máy đi lên tầng 1, tầng 2 đó cả nhà.
Also with this camera in the street, don't sign nothing. Or the play, you know, in the front of the tower, you will see after in the afternoon when you finish visit the tower.
Thang máy bắt đầu hạ xuống này cả nhà.
60% of medieval Paris. They rebuilt Paris. Paris was like in the hunchback of Notre Dame, you know, the Disney cartoon that was like that. The medieval old city. Very dirty. Windows.
Mình vô thang máy rồi đó cả nhà ơi. Mọi người đang ở trong lòng thang máy này cả nhà. Đây, thang máy đang đi lên Eiffel này cả nhà, rất là thú vị cả nhà ơi. Tuyệt vời, wonderful. Đây, quý cả nhà thấy không đây? Bắt đầu lên nè nha cả nhà. Nhìn dưới là dòng sông Seine thơ mộng. Uống quanh cả nhà ơi. Mình mong cho đi lâu lâu. Mau quá.
57 meters from the ground. The first floor. Also, Madame Brasserie restaurant. You can eat. You don't need a reservation.
Do we have to go back to the second floor to get out then? Can we eat from the first floor, or do you have to go back to the second floor?
Vui quá, cả nhà có nghe cái tiếng động của thang máy đi lên luôn cả nhà.
You open the doors.
And you can also use the
Mà
stairs.
rất là hồi hộp, vui lắm nha.
So after we finish first, we go to second.
You can use them.
Messieurs, dames, excusez-moi, sorry, on arrive au deuxième étage, tout le monde descend par là-bas.
And you know, you can buy tickets and you can climb, but maybe next time when you come in Paris, because from the Eiffel Tower is the best view.
You
of,
can see this from the Art of Triomphe very good.
Yeah, because I will tell you after, they're in the same axis, you know. After, just in the front of district La Défense is one huge green line. You see, like a forest. This is a forest Boulogne, and Boulogne is at the end of Paris. You know, you can see from the tower the Paris is not so big. The center, the 20th district, 24th. In the middle of a forest is one glass roof. You see the glass roof? You know, this is the Louis Vuitton Foundation. You cannot buy bags inside.
Louis Vuitton.
But if you like the contemporary arts, I recommend you to visit the Louis Vuitton Foundation. A very beautiful modern building in the middle of a forest. It's interesting to see. Just in the front of us, I spoke to you about two wings palace with a huge platform. This is the Palais de Chaillot. That palace was built for one of the Universal Exposition in Paris, and that was the first seat of United Nations in 1946. You know, today is a museum. On the right wing is a museum of architecture. On the left wing, a museum of humanity, and under the platform is one theater de Chaillot. You can see the windows under the platform. You know, from that platform is the best view on the Eiffel Tower. If you want to take pictures, because of that, it's crowded all the time, even at 6 o'clock in the morning. There's people who take pictures with the Eiffel Tower. And the reason why they built that platform was to have a best view on the tower. And you know, during this Palais de Chaillot is this two wings palace. And you know, during the Second War, the Germans, they conquered one huge part of France so quickly. 6 weeks, almost 6 weeks. One very important historical figure, he right here in Paris, he loved Opera Garnier. He knows everything about Opera Garnier. After that, he wanted to climb on the Eiffel Tower, but the French people say no, you cannot climb. They cut all of 5 lift cables on the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, and they closed the Eiffel Tower, you know. And he stayed in the front of the tower, just on that platform. And if you check on the internet, you can find a lot of pictures of him and his soldiers. Do you know who was him? 1940, Second War. This was a Hitler, you know. Hitler, he never climbed on the Eiffel Tower. But if you check on the internet, you can see that a lot of pictures of Adolf Hitler alone or with his soldiers from that platform.
This is Albert Speer.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is Albert Speer, the minister for the building.
Minister,
Yes.
okay. He visited the Paris only one time in 1940, but he never climbed. You know, this is one iconic place, very important symbol of France, of Paris.
Yeah.
Because of that, he never climbed the tower. Like, for example, the Winston Churchill, he was on the tower. Donald Trump, a few years ago, he was with Melanie in the restaurant. Here is the restaurant, Jules Verne, the luxury restaurant. But Hitler, he never climbed on the Eiffel Tower. It's important to know that. I will not finish the tour with Hitler, you know. We will continue. The next thing which I will show you is Statue of the Liberty. Just in the front of us, you can see I think one of the most famous fields in the world, the Champ de Mars, Field of Mars. At the end of that field is one modern building. Do you see? Just at the end, in the shape of cross. This is the only temporary building built for the Olympic Games. After the Olympic Games, they will move this building. The first building behind modern building is one old French building with a clock. Do you see that building? And the French flag. Yeah, just the first one behind the modern building. That building is a military school. Did you find? Yeah. The military school, you know, was built in 18th century for poor men in the beginning. How they said to make something of them. But very quickly in 18th century, the French government opened this school for all men from all social classes. And I'm sure that you know who was the best student ever. Napoleon Bonaparte, he was best student. He graduated so quickly in 1 year instead of 2, and he was almost 16 years old when he finished the military school in Paris. And you know that huge field in the front, Field of Mars, a very good place to take a picnic in the summer. The pictures of the Eiffel Tower, so romantic place. But if you're back in the time, wasn't nothing romantic here. You know, the students from a school, from military school, they did their training. Their military training, military drill on that field. Because of that, it's field of Mars. Mars is the Roman god of war. After I will show you the few more places in Paris, so beautiful, so romantic today. But if you're back in the time,
Nothing there.
so cruel, you know. You see the skyscraper. You can see one skyscraper here, the black one. This skyscraper is important because this is the only one skyscraper in Paris. You can see like that. You can see that Paris is not so huge. All the other skyscraper which you can see is in a suburb. It's outside of Paris. And that black skyscraper, the name is Tower Montparnasse. That was built in 70s, and the project of government was to build 12 skyscrapers. One more time, the Parisians, they say no, we don't want, and the government canceled the project. They built only one skyscraper, 59 floors. You can buy tickets, you can climb. It's a very good view on the Eiffel Tower. And do you know what is the nickname? And I will show you. They will.
Rất là đẹp luôn cả nhà ơi.
Something like a mirror. If you come back in 6 years, in 5 years, only 1 hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
20 minutes, 15 minutes by walk, and it's really beautiful. You know, Napoleon Bonaparte, you know that story, he wasn't so tall. It's not true, you know. He was 1.75 m. But the English, they didn't like at that time. The French, they didn't like Napoleon. That was invention of the English. That's one legend about Napoleon. He was 1.75 m, but his grave is large, 4 meters. You know, and it's so high. It's really, you can see that he was a real one megaloman when you will see his grave. With very beautiful chapel close to the grave.
Mộ của Napoleon.
Chapel of St. Louis. I recommend
Đối với nhà màu
strongly
vàng.
that place if you have 1 hour and a half after the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
The last place which you can see from here after we'll continue is the Cathedral of Notre Dame. Do you know Cathedral? I will show you Paris. In that direction, you can see the two towers. Imagine if the center of a clock is a golden dome. 11 o'clock is the Notre Dame, the cathedral.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, 11 from here, 11 o'clock. I will show you how look here. This is maybe lasted 180 years, almost 2 centuries. Imagine 9 generations of people participate in the construction of Notre Dame. Do you know what means Notre Dame? Our Lady. Yeah, the Mother of Lord. Because of that, the Virgin Mary is just in the middle, in the front of a rose window, with the baby Christ. After that, it's closed. You know that it's closed because of fire. But if you go inside, you can find 35 representations of the Virgin Mary. It's dedicated to the Virgin Mary. You know, the French president, Macron, after the fire, he promised that the Notre Dame will be open for the Olympic Games in July next year. No, it's not possible. Maybe in December next year. But to finish the roof and the spire, to reconstruct the roof and the spire, they need more than 10 years, between 10 and 15 years. You know, even with the modern technology today, they need more than 10 years to reconstruct the roof and the spire of Notre Dame. On the ground floor here, not on the ground floor, on the ground in the front of Notre Dame, now you cannot see, but there is one medallion. There is one huge fence. Now you cannot approach Notre Dame if you go in the front. But I will show you the medallion, that one. We call this place the point zero of the roads in France. For example, if you check the French roads map, you can see that all roads in France converge, they are connected with the point zero in the front of Notre Dame. You know, because during the medieval age and after, the French people considered the city island like a center of the world. Because of that, that place is real one heart of Paris, the city island. I recommend you to go in the front of Notre Dame at the evening. At the evening, there are lights on the western facade. You can see a better. You cannot approach now. There's one huge wall so far from a western facade. Yeah, but at the evening you can see all details. It's important to know that facade, the western facade, is a Bible carved in stone. It's important to see the old details on the cathedral. Very important place. It's one of the most important in Paris. Now we'll go a little bit forward.